Dre all day.
Now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, we're not done. Get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us out there, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. Then we put all this together into one framework, one system. This is a codified process that you can follow from top to bottom. We made a hardcover book on this subject, which you can get at workonyourgamebook.com. We have a university. I'll tell you about that later. And you're listening to the daily masterclass that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is part 3 of 3. We wrap up this 3-part series, Why You Cannot Sell to Save Your Damn Life. I've already given you the introduction on this. You've heard parts 1 and 2. If you have not, you should go back so you can get all 13 points here. Today we're doing points number 10 through 13. Let's get straight to it. Number 10, why you can't sell to save your life is the subject. A lack of persistence when the first try does not work. In selling, everybody, the fortune is in the follow-up. Sometimes in life, the first try just doesn't work. Sometimes you just got to do it again. Episode number 698, I told you about the power of follow-up. Once you try something the first time, you might need to try again before it works. It may not always work the first time that you try. I tried off of sports teams 1, 2, 3, 4 times before I made it. I might have sent an email to I remember when I wrote about this in my book, Work on Your Game. When I was trying to get onto a professional basketball team with no agent, I was just sending emails out to teams. I emailed the same teams over and over and over again sometimes before I started to get a response because I had to try different ways of making it work. Any of you who is creating content, for example, nowadays or anytime moving forward, there's so many people doing it. How do you break through and actually get attention for what you're doing? You might have to try different ways. You might have to keep publishing for an extended period of time. What I tell people in the publishing world is you should commit to publishing for an entire year in whatever platform you're publishing on, whether it's audio, written, visual, whatever platform, whatever app you're using, before you say this is not working and doing something else. Come up with a strategy, try it for a whole year before you can say it isn't working. You got to persist for a certain period of time before you can know whether something works or it doesn't. You can't put out 2 blog posts and then say, well, I'm not getting a lot of readers on my blog, so I'm going to just quit blogging, or put out 5 YouTube videos and say I'm only getting 20 views, so I should probably quit YouTube. You had to do it for a while to actually build up a little bit of cachet. Build up a little bit of muscle internally for yourself. Build up some skill. You'll learn over time as you do it. Even in sales, the first time you try to sell something to somebody, they might not buy it. Or the first time you try to talk to that person, they might not be interested. But if you keep trying, then maybe they'll be interested the next time. In the sales world, any of you who's ever taken any type of sales training, you know that you may get told that when someone tells you no, it doesn't really mean no forever. It just means not right now. That's what no means. It's a shortened version of not right now. And that's a mentality that, and sometimes it really means no. Sometimes it really means I'm not interested at all. Don't ask me again. But if you're the salesperson, your mentality should be what I had just said, that no means not right now. Your mentality should always be, okay, the person didn't want it today on May 1st, but on June 1st, I'm going to try again. I'm going to ask them again. I'm going to have a different approach. I'm going to highlight a different feature or benefit of my offering. I'm going to ask them again. I'm going to keep asking until I get this person to get what I want, or until they block me from reaching them, whatever. But I'm the salesperson. Your job as a salesperson is to persist and continue to follow up until you get the outcome that you want. Or what else are you going to do? What do you have to lose? If they get mad at you and they say never contact me again because they're mad because you keep asking them, so what? You didn't sell nothing to them anyway. You weren't going to sell anything to them. You didn't lose anything. People have their own lives and their own agendas. They are not sitting around waiting on you, Mr. or Mrs. Salesperson, to sell them something, which means your first try may just not be the right time or place for them. Maybe they're just not ready right now. Maybe they don't have the money right now. Maybe they don't have the need right now. But don't quit. Just come back. Try a different approach. Highlight a different feature. Find out more about why they would need it and emphasize that. Maybe you'll get some more information about that person and why they would actually need what you're offering that you didn't make that connection the first time and they didn't think about it the first time. But when you come back and you got a better way of talking about it, now they're like, oh, you know what? Now that you put it that way, now I'm interested. Maybe that can work, but until you try it, you will never know. Always follow up in the sales world. If you stop following up, you might as well quit the sales business. If you're not willing to follow up, you cannot be a salesperson. And understand that everybody is a salesperson. So read between the lines of what I just said. Point number 11. Today's topic, once again, is part 3 of 3. why you cannot sell to save your life. Number 11, you hope or think that you won't have to sell because your work is just that great on its own merits. Now, this is the fairy tale, Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz mindset that some people have when it comes to selling. They don't want to have to do any selling, or they hope that they don't have to do any selling because whatever they're offering is just so great that people will see it for themselves. You won't have to tell them how great it is. You won't have to convince them or give them any prompts as to how great whatever it is your offering is, and they'll just see it for themselves, and they'll just come beat a pat to your door and just say, take my money. This never happens. Now, this can be true after you're in the room. Now, once you establish yourself and people know who you are and they've already bought from you in the past, then those people, you can go to them and say, hey, I have something new. And they'll say, okay, well, I remember what happened last time and it was great. So you know what? I'm going to buy this. You don't even have to spend that much time telling me about it because we already have an established relationship, me and you, that person who's already bought from you in the past. Now, once you're established with people, then maybe you don't have to do that much selling, but you'll still have to sell even to people who have bought from you before because, as I said, people had their own agendas. Buying from you was their agenda for that moment at that time when they did. 2 years later, their agenda could have changed completely. They might not be married anymore. Maybe they got kids. Maybe they're not working in the same business. Maybe they're in a completely different industry. Maybe they don't even care about the thing that you were talking about 2 years ago anymore. Maybe back then they were a plumber, but now they're a computer IT tech person. Maybe back then they were a basketball player, but now they're in college and they don't play basketball anymore. Things have changed. Their circumstance has changed. Their agenda has completely changed. Just because they were into what you had then does not mean they're going to be into what you have now. So understand that just because you had a successful transaction with a person back then does not mean it's going to be so easy to do it again now. Sometimes it will be, but oftentimes it won't. So you should perish this whole concept of this fantasy land where just because whatever you created is so great, everybody else is going to realize how great it is and just buy from you without you having to do any sales work. That is probably not going to happen. And if you've tried this, you can probably confirm that this doesn't happen. This can be true once you're in the room, but again, even then, you still got to do some work. But not before you're in the room, ever, ever, ever. A key aspect of the work on your game system is on part 2, showing your game. Understand. Now, I've said this many times. I'm going to say it many times in the future, so get used to hearing me say this. Part of your showing your game is you selling yourself in such a way that you actually get to show your game. There are some times in life where everyone gets the opportunity to show their game and whoever gets chosen gets chosen. But often that doesn't happen, number one. And number two, you probably don't want to be in too many of those situations because the world is a little bit too big for you to think that you're going to stand out amongst 7 billion other people when everybody gets equal opportunity. All right, you don't want everyone to have equal opportunity. I told you about this in the earlier episodes of this show. Let me tell you the episode where I told you that you should be happy that there is privilege in life. Episode number 1640. The privilege of being able to get seen when other people don't have the same privilege to get seen. You should be happy that that exists. And sometimes it will exclude you. Sometimes it will include you. The reason why you should be happy about this is because human beings have a limited amount of attention. We can't look at everybody who wants to be seen. You want to be in a position where not everybody gets a chance to be seen, but you're one of the people who does. And that's when you get to show your game. Now, how do you get to do that? That's a sales job. You see how all this connects. There may be a little bit of political job. We got a masterclass on politics coming very soon. So all of these things we're going to make sure are covered and you are addressed so you know what to do with them. I got a course called People Skills in Work on Your Game Universities. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Take the People Skills course. Take the Sell Yourself course. Take the Unapologetic course. Take the Mindset courses, the Bulletproof Mindset course, the 30 Days of Discipline course, the ASAP Confidence course. All of these are part of Work on Your Game University. This is all part of the sales, people. Sometimes in life, you got to make a sale just to get a chance to try to make a sale. You got to sell just to try to get a sale. So, for example, when I got my job at Bali Total Fitness, it was a sales job. It was mostly commission-based. Most of my check was based on commission. I had to sell myself just to get the job interview. Because was I the only person applying for that job? No. They had to look through a bunch of applications to see, all right, who looks like somebody who might be a good candidate for this job. I had to sell myself just to get the job. And just because I got hired at Bali, again, I told you it was a commission-based job. So I didn't make any money just for having a job. I still had to go sell after I sold myself to get in the job in the first place. Then when I worked at a different job called Philadelphia Sports Club, same thing. Mostly commission-based job. I had to sell myself just to get the job. I had to follow up with the manager. I remember going to the interview, following up with the manager a week later, but then he eventually hired me. He kind of pushed me off when I followed up with him, but then he hired me. And then I had to sell in order to make money. I wouldn't have made any money if I had just got the job and sat there and said, all right, give me money now. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes in life, you have to sell just to get seen, and you don't get paid for getting seen. Once you get seen, then you get in, then you can start getting paid for the results that you're delivering. The world does not be the path to your door when you are unknown, folks. Maybe it'll be the path to your door if you're known. If you're The Rock or you're Rihanna or Taylor Swift, maybe the world will be the path to your door. But they still got to work to get there. And there are people around them working that maybe you don't see and you don't know about, but people are still working to make sure the world remembers that they exist, because all of us got short attention spans. If you're not known, the world will not be the path to your door. You got to be the path to the world's door, or you got to create a path that certain people are willing to walk because you have what they want or what they need. Point number 12. Today's topic is the part 3 of 3. Why you cannot sell to save your life. Number 12, you haven't mastered the 4 C's of sales. The 4 C's were covered in episode number 1652. The 4 C's of selling. Those 4 C's, for those who do not remember, are certainty, clarity, confidence, and courage. What do those mean? Certainty is you knowing exactly what it is that you're doing. Remember that 93% of communication, up to 93% of communication, is nonverbal. It is not the logical words that you say and the scripts that you have and the rebuttals that you memorize or overcoming objections that you memorize. Is none of that. It is the way that you feel about yourself and how that energy projects out towards other people. When you are certain about what you're doing, other people will move out of your way, and life will move out of your way in order for you to get to where you want to get to when you are certain. Clarity. Clarity means being clear about what you're offering, being clear about how you're offering it and what it does for other people and to whom you need to be offering it. That's clarity. Confidence. We know about confidence. Your willingness to put yourself out there boldly and authentically. If you don't have that confidence to put yourself out there, other people are not going to come fish you out of the crowd and say, hey, everybody, look at this person. Nobody's going to do that for you. If you're waiting for that to happen, I'm going to tell you to take personal initiative and stop waiting, because it will never happen. If it did happen, it will never happen again. And the last one, courage. Your willingness to go forward boldly through something. Maybe where there's an obstacle, maybe when there's a challenge, maybe when things didn't work the last time. Are you willing to go at it again as if things did work the last time? That is courage. Again, those are covered again in detail in episode number 1652, the 4 C's of selling. That's point number 12, that you haven't mastered these 4 C's, and that's the reason why you can't sell. Let's move on to point number 13, the final point in our series, which is why you cannot sell to save your life, is that you are a mental socialist. You are mentally socialist, and this is why you can't sell. What's the definition of socialism? From what I looked up. Now, there may be several different definitions of it, but here's the definition that I found. This is the one that fits best for what I'm going to say. A political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. So what I mean, breaking that down into layman's terms, into work on your game terms, socialism, you want or expect or think that all rewards should be equally distributed just because. You are mentally socialist. You think everybody should get the equal amount of rewards just because everybody's in the room. Everybody in the room should just get the same amount. There's $200 here and there's 200 people. Everybody should get $1. There's $10 and there's 2 people. Each of us should get $5, even though one person did the majority of the work. That is your mental socialism speaking. Last time that I checked, ladies and gentlemen, we were still strongly capitalist over here in the West. Now, any of you who is a follower of politics, maybe you have some snarky comments that you can add to that when I talk about socialism and capitalism, but that's not really the point here. I get it. I see that I made it wide open for you right there. But the whole point is this. We're capitalists here in the Western world. And what that means is this: you earn what you want. The things that you want, you need to come up with some way of earning them, some way of obtaining them on your own, and not expecting the whatever means, whether that's the government, whether that's the community, whether that's some person in power or some person who has a big bullhorn is making a whole lot of noise, a big megaphone making a whole lot of noise. Don't expect that person to give you what you want. Now, maybe they're telling you that they will. Maybe they're making that promise during their campaign, or they're posting it on their social media, or they got you excited because they're telling you that's the way that the world should be, and you believe in that and you're all in on it. All good. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. What I am telling you is that the last time that I checked, you still got to earn what you want in this life, at least in this part of the world. And I'm based in the United States of America, in case anybody didn't know. Rewards will not be evenly distributed. But that does not mean there won't be enough rewards to go around. There are plenty of rewards to go around for people who can sell. You can sell, there's a reward for you. There's a dollar bill with your name on it out there if you have the ability to sell. And I'm saying the government just prints money every single day. So there will never be a shortage of money for people who are able to sell. All right, this is an abundance mentality. When you can sell, there will be plenty of everything that you want out there. I talked about abundance thinking in episode number 113, abundance thinking. So don't worry, you don't need to have a socialist mindset that everybody should get the same amount just because. This is, again, something I hear from athletes who tell me things like, well, I know players who work really hard, but they're not getting the opportunity. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. Working hard does not equal opportunity. Working hard just means you worked hard. That's all it means. You want an opportunity, you got to sell yourself. You got to sell to get an opportunity. What do you have to sell? Who do you have to sell to? That's your job to know. And if you don't know, join us and Work on Your Game University. I'll help you figure it out. But until then, it's your job to know who you're selling to and what you have to sell and how to sell it. And if you're failing and selling it, then you're going to keep failing until you figure it out. That's the game. That's the way it works in a capitalist society. And again, last time I checked, as of this recording, we're still capitalists. You got to earn what you want. Rewards are not evenly distributed. There is plenty of reward to go around for people who are willing to earn it. And whoever creates value can show that value and can sell that value will receive value. Repeating that. Whoever creates value can show their value, can sell their value, will receive value. Again, my book, The Seller's Mindset, and my course, Sell Yourself. You can get Seller's Mindset at workonyourgame.com/books and Sell Yourself. The course is available exclusively at workonyourgameuniversity.com and Work on Your Game University. Understand that you hoping that everybody gets the same amount just because, or that somebody who has a whole lot more than you shouldn't have it because maybe they got it dishonestly, or it doesn't make sense that somebody has so much while there are other people who have nothing. Listen, I'm not telling you that you don't need to believe that. I'm not telling you you're wrong for having the thoughts that you have. What I am telling you is, if you're sitting around believing that, hoping that things will change just because you have that belief, I'm telling you, you should get a Snickers bar because you won't be going anywhere for a while. Those things are not going to change. I don't think they're going to change in our lifetimes. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you can make a podcast episode pointing it out. All right, download this and hold it up to my face as a receipt. But I think I'm right. Do not be a mental socialist hoping that everything just gets distributed evenly just because. It's probably not going to happen. Hasn't happened before. And the people who earn what they have, all right, they will fight to keep it. All right, they put the work in to get it. They did what they had to do to get it. Now, if you believe maybe they had to be political, maybe they had to get a little bit lucky, maybe they got opportunities that other people didn't have, maybe they had privileges that other people didn't get. Let me tell you something. Let's say you believe those things, okay? I got master classes telling you how to make all those things work in your favor. And I got a master class telling you how to hustle and play the game and stop bitching about the game. I got multiple master classes on every single thing that I just said. So if you believe that those things are true, instead of complaining about them, how about you start playing the goddamn game? And I'll tell you how to play the game. I'm giving you the game. All you got to do is play it. All you got to do is work on it. We put it on display, and we're going to help you get the ROI from it. So you can start being a part of the game instead of raging against the machine, banging your head against a stone wall. You probably end up with a concussion. So let's recap today's class. Part 3 of 3. Why you can't sell to save your life. Number 10, a lack of persistence when the first try doesn't work. In the sales world, fortune is in the follow-up. If you ever worked in sales, you know that. And all of us are in sales, so you should know that. And if you didn't, now you know. Everybody has their own life and has their own agenda. If they don't want something from you today, don't quit. Come back later on. Maybe they just weren't interested at that time. Your mentality as a salesperson is no means not right now. Even if they really mean no, to you it means not right now. Point number 11. You hope or think that you won't have to sell because your work is just that great on its own merits. Sometimes this can be true after you are already established, but if you are not established, and even with people you thought you were already established with, you still have to sell them in order to get them in. You have to make a sale sometimes, many times in life, just to get a chance to show your game, let alone getting any kind of ROI for your game. The world does not beat a path to your door when they don't know you. Number 12, you haven't mastered the 4 C's of selling. Certainty, clarity, confidence, and courage, all covered in masterclass number 1652, the 4 C's of selling. And number 13, you are a mental socialist, meaning expect or think all rewards should be equally distributed just because that is not going to happen. And if you're waiting for it to happen, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But do you want to bet your life and your success on a maybe? I wouldn't. Last time I checked, we were still strongly capitalist out here in the Western world. You must earn what you want. Rewards are not evenly distributed. There are plenty of rewards to go around, so don't complain about the fact that somebody has more than you. Go get it. Figure out how they got it, and you can get the exact same thing. They did not take all of it. It did not disappear just because they got it. All right, and if we're talking about money, the government prints it every single day. It's just numbers on the spreadsheet. It is not backed by gold anymore. That ship has been sailed. You can get as much of it as you want. Don't complain when somebody else has more. You should ask yourself, how the hell did they do it? And how the hell can I do the exact same thing? Get my book, The Seller's Mindset, and take the Sell Yourself course so we can help you get to the next level of this. And when you're ready to show your game and make the sale to get your game seen in the first place, and then get the ROI for your game, which can be the money, the fame, the attention, the love, the fulfillment, whatever it is that you want, join us in Work On Your Game University by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.